Hey going guys, Mason Corby here from Downunder Lumix. Today's video we're going to watch is all about angles. So angle flying. It's going to show a fair bit about just the levels that we were looking for. There is a bump or a couple bumps or some things I'm going to debrief. But just general controls and stuff like that, okay? So it's more for the intermediate flights from angle camp we did down south with me and KJ at Picton at Sydney Skydivers. Good camp. We ended up joining the two groups together once everyone had their stuff fine-tuned and doing some over and unders. I think that was in one of the earlier videos that I've done. So yeah, check it out. Hope you like it. Enjoy. See how we go. If I miss anything as well, I'll stick it in the comments. So check those out if you do have any questions. If I haven't answered them as well, stick them on there and I'll give my best to try to achieve it or fix something there. Cool. Right, so we had 2 back and 3 belly for this. Good exits by the back flyers. Marta left probably slightly late. Okay, you can see she's freaking out a bit there. Now the best thing to do in this situation isn't necessarily to try and power on like she has. It's probably to release the arms and try to release the torso and let the torso fall back. Okay, that way you can see her torso here. It's just on a slightly different angle compared to what Elios's is. Elios has exited. This is my head, he's exited down into the wind, and she's kind of got a little bit, this is the head on the fingers, a little bit head high, so we're moving in this direction. She's actually going to go back a little bit as we start coming forwards, okay? So check it out, we'll see what happens there in a sec. Let's see how the belly flyer's done. Yeah, great exit from the belly flyers up here. I think the initial belly flyer on the camera step might have left a little bit early. If we rewind that, we'll see where he's, let's rewind it and see where his hand's gone. Yeah, okay, so you can see he's on the camera step there. He wants to be leaving slightly after me. So ready, set, he wants to be leaving probably now and shooting as much as he can. He wants to be, I done it again. As much as he can, he wants to be trying to punch this gap here. Okay, so rather than trying to pop off and over this way, slightly later and pop through here. The first belly flyer is going to be coming through as well, but you don't want to necessarily pop through. It's kind of like up and over. By the time you leave, you will be peeling off the plane, just the same as what the leader is here as well. Okay, so you'd see them through this gap now, and then be able to fly over the top. So nice work on the belly flyer here, exiting. They did exit slightly off towards towards this direction here. Okay, but they're on heading still as well, so they're nice and straight, legs straight, loud and come down. I think she ends up bending her legs slightly early, and this is kind of what stops her and keeps her up. So if you just keep those legs pinned and just trust it, you'll have time. A lot of the time that's the mindset, thinking shit, I gotta go, I gotta get stable, and just breathe, relax. If you've done plenty of angles before, you know what's coming. There's no need to worry. Just observe the situation. Awareness is key, and then make your choice afterwards. Okay, so the belly flyer up there, getting off with a little bit of knees. Okay, we can see some knees there. That's also going to be braking her. Okay, brakes here as well. Okay, so let's check that out. Okay, yeah, you can see on the brakes there. So you should have held that a fair bit longer. So if you're watching this, you could fly forward a lot more. You get into slot afterwards, but if you're going to be picky, it's just going to allow you to be that bit more smoother. Okay, so the belly flyers, the back flyers are down here. We'll go back and check out old matey on the camera step after. We're just going to watch the this exit. Okay, so for the backies, cool, bit of a bump, wobble, and she catches herself. Nice. Cool, both flies coming in. Yeah, here he is. So he gets there eventually, hey? Cool, so back flyers are coming in nice into slot. Really want to think about having one either side. That's what we're aiming for this jump, like a diamond formation. 2 back, 1, 2, a belly on this side, and a belly over on this side, and then a belly flyer above. Okay, so we can now see she's gotten there. So it's a nice, easy formation. Excuse me. Nice easy formation to fly. Don't need to worry about doing too much turns. And for these jumps, you can just get into slot and figure out some controls, release some tension. So you can see some similarities here between the belly flyers is cupping with the hands. Okay, so flying like this, if you just release that, just get that controls from your hands. You don't need to necessarily be holding the wind. We call it holding the wind. There's nothing there to actually hold. So that's when we release it and we feel like we're actually falling and let ourselves fall. That's when we can get a smoother style. I don't really necessarily like the word style, but it's just you fly a bit smoother, and you can use your body weight and shift your weight more so to turn or to steer rather than having to cause drag by gripping the wind. Okay, so it still does work. It's not that it's wrong or right. It's just rather than thinking about efficiency or de-efficient or what your general goal is for flying. Okay, so you'll see here a couple of people grabbing or pushing off the air. Remember, if you're pushing off something, tension, pressure is drag. So if you feel pressure, you're causing drag. Cool. So yeah, you just want to really think about if you feel any tension, that's drag. So tension, pressure, any pressure is sort of drag. So if you can feel tension and pressure all up your arm and like a heavy part, you probably know there's a lot of drag there. If you can feel tension on your legs, but the bottom part of your legs are quite floppy and sloppy, there's probably not much drag on the bottom part of your legs. It's probably in the burble. Okay, and you're using more of the front, the thigh as tension. So you can see here, if we tip it over slightly, he does have tension in his legs, so he is engaging his legs slightly, and there would be slight pressure on the wind. Okay, if we look up, I mean, look at this shape here, you can see he'd be hitting pressure here. The air and the wind would probably be traveling something like this. Okay, the relative wind, because we're flying, so he would be having some slightly hitting over the back of his rig as well, so his head's down, so he's kind of similar to a wing. But you can see here how the curls just in here, so that's where he's going to have a bit of pressure and drag too. So he's probably using that as a response to like, okay, I can use this. This is a mindset, whereas other people might release this and they're using their shoulders, okay, as turning and feeling pressure on their shoulders. So it just depends on your mindset. The more you do, try to think about doing all different ones. Don't try to do just one in particular. Do many, and once you know all of them, you're going to have more controls. Whereas if you just stick to one, you're just rigid. You're staying to one. So feel them all. If you're a coach, feel them all. Then you know more different ways to explain to your students as well. You have more experiences yourself. So don't just stick to one rigid thing. The more you know, the better it is. There is an efficient, there is a de-efficient. Okay, so there is something we should be working towards, but dabble and understand the methods of others and why in their psychology do they do that. Okay, oops, shit. So we'll get rid of that. And let's get off going down the tangent and continue. Sorry about the camera, guys. Okay, so we can see here, belly flyers are pretty good. Back flyers are good in slot. 1, 2, either side, nice and close. This is exactly when people are talking about getting in slot. These are pretty much exactly where we want to see people. Okay, belly to the side. He could slightly be a little bit more Pritchard. The belly flyer above, excellent, really good. Okay, if they were going to get closer, they go more forward. Okay, so and really good here on the left. Excellent. If anything, he could be a bit closer towards us. You can see how the distance slightly off to my left. Okay, so he's a bit slightly forward. So I'd probably say he's too far forward. Cool. Actually, no, I don't know. Looking at that, he's pretty much spot on. That looks really good. Cool, you can see Pritchard slightly behind because he's looking up and forward. But you can see what I mean here by his arms. So his hands are off. He's not really using his hands. He's using that different control method compared to the other two. Yeah, see those the differences. Okay, differences in the legs. So his legs are a bit more letting the wind go more, but they're still engaged. Okay, he's from slightly behind. The arms are behind. There's still nothing wrong with this. Yeah, this is probably more efficient in a way compared to this. Okay. It's strange because he's bigger and he's smaller. So you'd think he'd be trying to cause more drag. But because he's more of on like a bellying down, so he's kind of falling more a bit probably like this. Whereas, I'm really sorry, I can't remember your name. Old mate is a lot more up like this. Okay, so he's a lot steeper, the wind's going over the back. Just think about those different shapes. Cool, I'm signaling now, I'm going to go steeper. Oh, that was a turn. Let's see what happened in that turn. Hope you guys like this view, because some people I can find it a bit confusing. No, let's put it back to the other view because it can get a bit confusing there. Alright, so we're going to go on what it would look like for me. Okay, so I see Pritchard Giddy. Alright, signaling, turning. Okay, so now on the outside, you want to really think about having those legs straight, putting them together. Not necessarily just straight. We've been telling people straight all the time, but actually together, because together it's taking away the surface area, and surface area is drag. So here you can see that's where the drag is at the moment. This leg wants to be straightened down here, okay? If anything, even straightened that way, not to cause the torso, but the whole body wants to tip this way because we're banking and turning. We're banking and turning. We're going to be going away. On the outside, if we can see here, the outside gets stuck behind straight away. Whereas if we think about accelerating over, we're going to be able to stay with that turn. Even if you're here on this side, you want to accelerate around. Okay, otherwise you can eventually start getting left behind. If we're going to do this later on, that's fine. We'll do another video about that because there are moves we can do this, but for these ones specifically, for a lot of the angles, we really want to be trying to stay with them. So the outside guys have to kind of speed up. Whoop. And the inside guys, they have an easier job, because the turn comes to them. They can just kind of sit there. There we go. So see Pritchard as well. See how he bends straight away and then he gets sucked behind. And that's because he's bending his knees. So this part here, he's causing drag right now. So that's actually taking him backwards. The other one's a little bit straighter, but if you straighten that, put that chin down, and then call something similar to this shape, okay, that's not the exact shape, but something similar to that shape, you'd be able to get around the corner a lot quicker. Whereas because this is dragging and then the first point of contact's the head, it's kind of like it's kind of plowing through the wind. Right, you want to be able to fly through it, turn your body into a wing rather than just plowing through it. It's not to say that it's wrong. He's still doing it. He's still there. Okay, see how he's got his knees more together. So he just braked that slight bit early before he came back. So it's that same thing, just that commitment, just going that little bit more. Okay, I think I might be telling him to come up, come forward, come forward, come forward, come forward. Ooh, and just that braking too early. Ooh. Also, we've lost a backfire. We'll go through and look at that again. So this is really good flying by Fiona in front. Look at that, staying really well. It's quite an easy slot. So if you guys think, when you want to train this, really think about doing exactly what he's doing here, okay? Flying with your foot, almost the same as what Fiona's doing, flying, so she's standing on the top of the rig, right? Just like this, so you can just put the foot down. You don't want to have to reach, because that's drag, so just put the foot down, yeah? Oh, and he goes through it. Too far forward, too far forward. Oh, looks like things are getting hectic there on the back as well. It started getting crazy at the end of the jump. We're going so well in the beginning. See, it's crazy. You just start chucking one or two little turns in. Some of the best flyers, like they still start struggling, hey? So let's go and see what happened with those back ones. And they weren't too hectic turns. And everyone was like spot on in slot. So I'm pretty sure, remember, this was the second jump we done. And these were the training jumps we were going to be doing for the over and unders and the 2As. So first what we did is we train them in single groups, train the same kind of turns, okay, same pace, same signal, same directions. Then once we start joining the groups together, then we can do the same thing. So it's already just stepping up in stages rather than going, okay, here we go. It's like, okay, you've experienced this. All we're going to do now is add another group. Do the same thing when they're going to go over and under, just turns. Once they've experienced that, cool. Then we're going to do the over and unders. But these groups don't go like this. It's still the same. This one turn, down, one turn, over, under, over. So we're not actually moving two groups at once. It's one group moves, the other one comes down. Another group moves, the other one comes down. As you start getting more experienced at this, obviously add in more and more and more things, and things change. So let's have a look at what happened to the back flies. This camera's just great, isn't it? 360 GoPro Max, if anyone is wondering. Right, so this is at the start of that turn. Start going steeper. Yep. So you can see they're starting to wobble a lot. She's got her arms in. Okay, so they're not as much drag there. So, oh, you're wobbling. Oh, and she took them away. So really think about, don't stop flying. Never stop flying. Even if you're coming up to bump someone, accelerate in that same direction. Get some speed on. You start putting guards up. That's when you're starting to create, more drag. Okay. So she didn't feel too comfortable on that turn. As we started going to the left, you can see this signal down here. I like to do prepare. So give the signal and go. Didn't see, went to bumping the leg. Nothing happened there, and then she's just gone steep because she's worried about what's going to happen. Now this This happens all the time, so not picking on Marta here. It happens quite regularly. So really think about getting control of the dead dog so you can sink as well as go steeper. Okay, so that's where there's multiple controls on the back just as well as the belly to get there. You have one where you go steeper with the chest. This is going to cause the body to go like this. Okay, you have one where you sink the chest, where this is going to cause the body to go like that. So you have this kind of one or this one. All right, so get controls of both of them. That way when incidents happen, you're going to be a lot more comfortable because you've already experienced what the sensation is going to be. Whoa, okay. Might be the second time, third time, but at least you've had some sort of reference to go back to. Okay, good work, Elios, sticking with it. So we've done another slight turn. Wanted to try and pick Marta up a bit. Now, make sure you're navigating the whole time while you're doing this, because if you're not checking the ground constantly, you can quite easily lose where you are. Now in through comes the belly fly. Now Marta actually come back really well. You can see she's actually quite an experienced flyer from how she actually approached back into this. So now she needs to get on level. See, she's sinking out a little bit. So that's the control she probably should have done when she first rocked up. I can tell that now her head's probably in a big rush state. Okay, so you really want to, once you start coming and getting there, think about breathing, chill, take the time, then get back into the slot. Okay, good. So she's now back in the fly zone rather than the night no fly zone where she slightly went into. Look at that rig. All right, we're going to go and talk about those rigs later on. This can be because of the articulation in the harness. You can see he's probably done his chest strap up really tight because he's freaking out about the chest strap coming undone. But that actually causes the harness to start splitting sometimes because the point's so tight that it causes it to creep out here. I'm going to do another video about gear and stuff like that later on, so keep an eye out for that one, okay? Not going to go down the rabbit hole now. So break off calm. Cool, nice work. Elios flying through. Good work flying that whole thing. Marta, yep, just got back. Went back to slot. Off she goes. Very sorry, mate. Fiona and the guys, they've split off from the belly back here. Cool. Big thing I preach a lot on angle jumps isn't just flare out like this, because a lot of the time, not a lot of the time, sometimes you're going to be where someone's not where you expect. So really think about looking like you're doing it like you're crossing the road. Look left, look right, and then go. Okay, if you just go thinking someone's in that area without looking, okay, or where the leader is, like check around. It's kind of like before you pitch, like have a good look around and then go. All right, they could be above, could be behind. On some head up angle ones later on, I've got some pretty gnarly ones where people don't necessarily look or they're transitioning, and it can go pretty hairy, hey. All right, so let's talk really quickly about the leading. Just so if you are starting to do simple jumps like this, leading for your mates, you can get a pretty good reference. I'm not 100% sure which way I went here, so I'm just going to look now as well and debrief. Okay, so we look down. Here's the drop zone. The drop zone looks like it is, there's the drop zone there. You can see the runway, you can see the areas, that's the pond, that's the landing area. Okay, so drop zone, we're running this heading. So this is about like 340 or something like that I think at this drop zone. That there's the highways at 220, I'm pretty sure, 020. So let's go. So slightly up, and then we're going to turn under the plane. So it looks like we are going to the east. Or I'm the last one out. Fucking better be. I am the last one out. So there we go. Let's have a look. We still have another group on, so I must have been the second group of the two groups. So we obviously have another angle group going around about behind us. So my first thought is to get us away from jump run, away from the other group. Okay, two angle groups should be pretty easy. So creating separation at first. Good, everyone gets in. Check the heading again, make sure I'm still on heading. So the things I'm going through is how's my heading? That's number one. How's the group? And I'm checking with them, how are they? Are they there? How's their potty positions? Do they look wide? Do they look narrow? Are they similar? Are they different? What tips can I give? Things like this. And then the next question I ask is, how am I? Okay, so from the group, I'm judging, am I steep? Am I shallow? I'm looking at them here. I'm like, okay, these guys look like they're pretty, like a little bit less than 45 or a bit shallower than 45. Okay, from their body positions and the horizon. Look here, he's a bit steeper, yeah, but he's a bit smaller, so he's probably going to have to be a bit steeper to keep up with us. So he's got his orientation there. Can't see the one on the belly. Now I'm going steeper because that's the signal I can think that I'm because I'm flat. I now have range to go steeper, and I've put in a slight right turn. Okay, so where are we? Cool, still keeping away, still zigzagging away from the drop zone. Left-hand turn, not going to do some big ones, some snakes. Keep going, keep going. You can see there constantly in that head, just checking. You can see the camera down here. So now I've lost one. So now as I've lost one, I think, okay, now I've got time to signal and fix people's formations, body positions. All right, I'm still heading in the correct direction. I'm checking how's my group. His legs needs to come up. Okay, what about old matey? He's good there. What about Elios? All right, he's in the good slot. Can I give him anything? Waiting for Marta. So my group's not all there. I'm holding. I'm waiting. Okay, yep, come. Check. How's my heading again? Group's good. Left turn. Okay, we don't want to do, in this circumstance, a right turn, probably because what's going to happen if we do a right turn, just as Marta's coming back in, she's away, we're going to turn away from us. So the best option, as long as I'm not going to go back down, jump run into the other group, is a left turn. Pick her in, only slightly, now she's coming up. And off. You can see here, facing this direction just here. So the other group should be opening up over here somewhere. Tracking off, everyone clearing the area. Have a good look. See, I'm still checking left and right, waiting. Pull out. And then we're good. Okay, last one I want to check is, let's see if we can see where that other group is over here. Oh, they're ours. Negative. Alright guys, so that pretty much sums up the video there. If you have any questions or anything like that, please hit us up. The whole goal of this tutorial here, or debrief, was to just explain some various things about how people control the wind with themselves, the mindset, and so you can see the kind of positions we're looking for, the different approaches, and just some good points of what people are doing good, what they can be doing better, and just the mindset of why and where we think some things. So yeah, thank you, and I hope you liked it. So like and subscribe if you feel the need, and I will see you on another one. Enjoy.